So the news has it that Nigeria won't be going to the World Cup. Interesting, right? Yeah, Nigeria won't be going to the World Cup because yesterday Congo DRC eliminated the Super Eagles of Nigeria from the World Cup qualification playoffs. That means that there is no place for us in the World Cup. And I've seen so many reactions, so many posts, and everybody, coming out to air their view. And believe you me, I understand everybody's opinion. I understand the anger. I understand the bitterness. It's been a lot, right? So allow anybody that wants to to talk, because tell me how a team that has the two best African players cannot make it to the World Cup. A team that has the immediate past African player in the person of Victor Osimhen, a team that has the present African player in the person of Ademola Lookman, and a team that has most of the world's best strikers, best midfielders, best defenders in their different clubs, could not or cannot pick a World Cup slot for their country. Yes, so I mean, this is really something like that feels like it's an unbelievable, it's something very difficult to happen. But I mean, it's happening in Nigeria, and we are here to talk about it, right? I think at this point, before we move on to the whole AFCON, NFF, and the whole thing that happened, let's talk about the game that happened yesterday. Before the game started, I was on a TikTok live with some of my friends, and then we were talking about the game, and everybody was saying what they feel was going to happen. And I personally told them that I think the Super Eagles were going to win because these guys have not been to the World Cup like say almost in 10 years. So they are hungry. I assumed they are hungry, for the World Cup, because majority of them have not been to the World Cup. I think it's only Trustekong, Ahmed Musa, who of course is no longer with the team or is resting for now, and some other, just few other old players that have been to the World Cup. Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, Frank Onyeka, majority of them have not been to the World Cup. So, I felt like this is a moment for them to like show themselves, show that we are giants of Africa in everything. But yeah, it is football. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But the most annoying part of that losing is not just in losing, but how you lost. Okay? It is not just in losing, but how you lost. Now, let's take a look at our journey to the World Cup qualification from when Finidi George took over this team. Remember that after the AFCON, our last coach, what's his name, Peseiro, parted ways with Nigeria, and then he left. Whatever happened, nobody knows. Perhaps it's the agreement that once you take us to the AFCON, you are going to leave. That's story for another day. And then Finidi George took over this guys, and we saw how that ended. Right now, let's talk about the match of yesterday. I don't want to delve into the other ones, the Benin match, the uh, Gabon, and the other ones. Now let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday, when I saw the lineup, I was a bit scared. I was scared not because the players could not get it or the players could not perform some magic, but I was scared because the lineup didn't just make sense to me. That players like Ademola Lookman, who has not been really having a good time as a result of his issue with the club, was called upon in a very, very decisive game like yesterday to play for us, and then he started playing. When they started playing, of course, in the 3 minutes into the game, we got a goal courtesy of Frank Onyeka. We were all happy. I was happy. I was jubilating. I was posting it everywhere. And then fast forward to when the Congolese equalized. Now, before then, something happened. This is from my own perspective. Osimhen had an encounter with Wan-Bissaka, which, we all saw him, running in pains and all that. Nobody knows what happened afterwards. But the only thing is that at the beginning of the second half, Osimhen was nowhere to be found. And that was the beginning of our problem. Osimhen was nowhere to be found. And I could remember like everybody on social media asking, what is going on? Why is Osimhen not playing this game? And perhaps I was still, lying to myself that, no, the guys are going to do it. They are going to do it. I mean, they can't build the team around Osimhen. But guys, the truth is, the Super Eagles of now is built around Osimhen. As we all saw it yesterday, it is built around Osimhen, which means that once Victor Osimhen is not in the game, we cannot beat our chest and say, okay, these other guys are going to get it for us. These other guys are going to do some magic. Because we saw it played out yesterday in a very, very important game as that of yesterday. You guys could not do anything simply because the talisman was taken off. I mean, we don't know the reason because till this very moment, nobody has released any official reason. It's just speculations that he was injured and whatever that happened. But why can't the team play without Victor Osimhen? Victor Osimhen is not the only striker in the team. He is not the only player in the team. But somehow the weight of the entire team, the weight of the entire country making it to the World Cup or winning a trophy has been placed on him. That means that once Osimhen is out of the team, every other thing falls apart. And that is where, many people started calling on the coach to make a tactical change. Not just to make changes, but a tactical one, the ones that will yield us some results. We saw what happened. None of that happened. At a point, it's like the midfield started leaking. And this midfield issue has lingered for so long. All the time we are complaining of the midfield, and that is where our inconsistency plays part. Last time with the Gabonese players, the midfield, we praised Ndidi and Iwobi for doing such a wonderful job. Why couldn't they replicate that yesterday? Right? And then, of course, the coach had other when you notice that these midfielders are not doing what they're supposed to do, why not bring in other midfielders? Why not make some changes? Must those people be there? I mean, every player has their bad day. I'm not saying they are bad players. But when you see that these people are not living up to expectation, perhaps due to some reasons, you remove them and bring other people. That's why you have a squad. That's what it means to have a squad, right? You bring in new people to, complement them at that particular point. At a point, it became a case of Stanley Nwabali picking up the ball, looking for who to play the ball to, and there was nobody to play. Then he plays it to the opponent's post. You see the Super Eagles hiding behind the Congolese players, right? He plays it there, and then the Congolese players wrestles the ball from them and then plays it back to Nwabali. It was as if Nwabali was doing both the goalkeeping job and the defending job and everything. Now, let's talk about our defenders. Our defenders did so well. Frederick Benjamin, Calvin Bassey, and the likes of them. They did so well. I mean, I don't think our defense has been an issue for some time now. It has always been the midfield. Right. Now, before I move over to any other thing, let's talk about the goalkeeping department. Now, everybody is praising Stanley Nwabali for the wonderful penalty kicks he saved. Wonderful. But my question is, what if that match didn't get to the penalty section? What would have happened? Recently, I don't know what is going on with Nwabali, but Nwabali has not been the Nwabali that we saw during the last AFCON. This guy has, on constant occasions, given us reasons to be scared. He has on constant occasions, high our blood pressure. Like, we are with the ball, you are with the ball, and we are with these people's strikers, and you are playing in front of your goalposts. This leaves me questioning, are we going to bank on Nwabali going into the AFCON? NFF, are we going to bank on Nwabali as our number one going into the AFCON? I am a fan of Nwabali. This is not me calling for him to be removed. Of course, I have no such power. I'm only looking at the possibility of getting another number one, another replacement should anything happen. Maduka is in the team. We have other goalkeepers in the team. How about we start trying out these other people now and see how far we can get with them before the AFCON is just in a few weeks. How about we start trying out with these players now before the AFCON? So it is safe to say that Congo were the better team because they played better. They were everywhere despite conceding an early goal. That is what it means to be a team. A winning team with a winning mentality. Despite conceding an early goal, they fought to the very end. The moment they equalized that goal, they took over the entire game. And at some point, I was like, Jesus, what is going on? It was looking like the domination of that game was like 88-12 to the so-called Super Eagles with the two best African players. Interesting, right? So Congo deserves to be at the World Cup, and I really wish them well going forward. I really wish they can get that ticket. They're going to do the intercontinental playoffs. I really wish they can get that ticket. Let us focus on other things, because had it been we even won them yesterday, the guarantee that we could make it past the group stage at the World Cup was not there, because we didn't show any sign of a team that is hungry, a team that wants to go to the World Cup. We never showed any sign like that. Okay, so congratulations to Congo. They deserve it. Away with the match overview of yesterday, let's talk about Coach Eric. I'm trying so hard not to blame him because this guy met a dilapidated team, a team that was struggling, that was disorganized in so many ways. And he tried his very best to see how he could build that team. And we all applaud him. We all appreciate the efforts he has done so far. And I wish he can take us to the AFCON, right? But my problem now is, coach, you granted an interview that your opponents did some thing. Let me not mention it. I don't know if I would go against social media standards. You mentioned some things that they did some things, and I'm wondering, how did that even come into this discussion? Because it looks like you were so clueless yesterday. You did so well in the Gabonese game. You made so many beautiful changes that you failed to replicate yesterday. At this point, the best you can do, I mean, it's frustrating because that was like your intention was to take us to the World Cup. But at this point, what you can do is to take your blame, move on with the team, see where it's not working, and try to work around that before the AFCON. And not coming to tell us about some things being done and being the reason why you didn't win the match yesterday. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So at this point, Coach Eric, what are your plans for the AFCON? AFCON is in few weeks. It is not nice that we are going to look for a new coach now. It is not advisable because this is very, very late. We need to work with your tactics. We believe you have a game plan. We believe you have a tactics. What are your plans for the World Cup? When are you going to reconvene these guys? How are you going to play? And what are your plans for the midfield? We need to work on the midfield. We can't take this performance of yesterday to the AFCON. African football is more of a physical game. Football has evolved so much in Africa. This is no longer the time where you're going to say you play tiki-taka, you dominate, you do that. No. Many countries have risen in Africa. Talk about Morocco. Morocco is leading everywhere. Talk about Senegal. Senegal is doing so well in all the cadres, all the levels of their national team. Egypt is doing so well. Every other country is doing so well. So you are not going to go to the AFCON this way, right? We are not going to go to the AFCON this way. With this leaking midfield, this is not what we are going to do. What are your plans? What are you doing to help these guys? I mean, I'm not saying Ndidi and Iwobi should be dropped. We need their experience, right? But the new ones that you have, how are you going to incorporate them? How are you going to give? What tactics do you have for them to make it to the AFCON? And not just making it probably win the AFCON for us. Because we need, I mean, this crop of players need one trophy. It will be disastrous. It will be a shameful thing that this crop of players would retire without any trophy. I mean, the last time Nigeria won the AFCON, I don't think we had this number or this squad depth. I don't really think. And by the time, and believe me, the reason why we need to work so hard to get this AFCON is by the next World Cup, the likes of Osimhen, Chukwueze, Ademola Lookman, Iwobi, majority of them, Bassi, majority of them would be in their 30s, 32s, 33s, 34s. If they cannot get anything meaningful now, what is the guarantee that they can get something in their old age? There is no guarantee. So, Coach Eric, what are your plans for the AFCON? We need the AFCON. At least something to, appease Nigerians. We need the AFCON. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep, looking for who to blame. I'm not blaming you. What we're asking now is for you to give us your tactics for the upcoming AFCON. Away from Coach Eric, guys, let's talk about the NFF and the AFCON, of course. NFF is the center of everything. We are going to blame them. The last time we made a video about the Super Eagles calling out NFF for owing them bonus and all that, many people have called out as a result of NFF not picking the World Cup qualification yesterday. Many people have called them to return all the bonuses, blah, 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 blah. That's not our business. We have no right to do that. I mean, they are working for us. So it is only right that we pay them. Now, NFF, I think at this point, NFF should be overhauled totally. The entirety of NFF should be overhauled. Now, guys, before you say, why am I saying this? I was just researching, and then I came across something that I would like to show you guys. Now, since this present NFF took over, since there has not been any achievement whatsoever. Apart from the female football, who I believe they just decided on their own to do something exceptional. Because I believe the same thing is also affecting them. Apart from the female team, there is no other achievements this present board of NFF trustees have made for the Nigerian football. And before you attack me, no Senior World Cup 2022, and 2026. If you guys can remember, we have not been to the World Cup. This is the second consecutive time we are missing out of the World Cup. No under 17 World Cup 2021, 2023, 2025, and 2026. Guys, you all remember that this under 17 is something we have always been, be proud of. Like, we always boast with this team that, no matter what happens, we can get under 17 qualification and we can win it. Because we have been winning this back to back, right? But since 2021, we have not gotten any close to taking the trophy under this present NFF. And of course, we've always had a very, very disastrous under 20 World Cup performance. Very, very disastrous. Nothing can be said about those ones. Let's not even waste time talking about those ones. And of course, our under 17 Women World Cup, it was as disastrous as anything you can think of. I think since 2022, they haven't really done anything meaningful in that cadre. And of course, failure to pay allowances and bonuses. No meaningful plans, no programs. And we are now asking NFF, what exactly is your duty? If you cannot build our federation, if you cannot build Nigerian Football Federation, what exactly is your duty? What are you doing? I made mention of Morocco, I made mention of Senegal, Egypt, and all that, because we've seen that not just the senior team of these countries are doing so well, even the junior cadre, as young as the under 17, they are all dominating the world. Did you guys see what Morocco under 17 did recently in the World Cup? Thank you. That is how you know a team that is serious. Look at their female team. They gave our girls a good run for their money. Do you understand? So this present NFF, I don't know what is going on with you guys. Maybe you guys should tell us. What exactly is going on? Why are you guys not thinking of how to grow Nigerian football? Nigeria is filled with so much talent. So many guys are willing to play football. They are willing to just play football. Like they can only get joy playing football. Why are you guys not helping them to grow? Why are you guys not building our federation? Why are you guys not building our footballers? What is going on? What is going on? NFF, we are going into the AFCON competition. We are going into the AFCON. And our question remains, what are your plans? We have asked the coach his plans. Now we are asking you as a body, as an organization, what are your plans for the AFCON? Again, Nwabali is a good keeper. But are we going to bank on Nwabali for the AFCON, seeing what he has done like recently? Take away the penalty. He has always been good with the penalty. We know from the last AFCON. But what if the game doesn't get to the penalty? What happens? NFF, what are your plans for the AFCON? AFCON is in few weeks. And it will be disastrous. It will be a shameful thing that having failed to pick a World Cup slot for the second consecutive time, we'll go to the AFCON and not take something back. Something is not silver. It is not bronze, but gold. We need that gold. These guys cannot retire without having anything to their names. So we need you guys need to do whatever you have to do to clinch a trophy. Just get a trophy. Nigerians are hungry. The senior team should get us a trophy. The under 20 should get us a trophy. The under 17 should get us a trophy. Now, this is where the problem lies. People are focusing on this senior team so much, forgetting that the under 17 and the under 20s are the future senior teams. If we cannot build this federation, if we cannot build something meaningful, something credible, how sure are we that we are going to have a senior team in the next 2 to 3 years? Because as Ndidi is aging, as Iwobi is aging, as Osimhen is aging, we need younger Osimhen, younger Ndidi, younger Iwobi, younger Ademola Lookman to replace them. Where are we going to get that? Where are we going to get that? Why don't we have different academies? Why don't we pick from our different academies and fund our academies? We saw the product of academy in Frederick Benjamin as a result of Simon Moses Academy in Kaduna. Simon Moses produced that gem for Nigeria. Who else is going to produce? NFF, what are you doing? How are you going to pick other Frederick Benjamins to come and replace these old ones in the senior team? Can we help and build our federation at least? Now, away from, the World Cup is in the next 4 years. Can we have a feasible plan that can help us build something meaningful before the next World Cup comes? This is the only thing we're asking for and nothing more. So, fellow Nigerians, as we prepare for the AFCON, I'm optimistic we'll get something. But I don't want to, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I really hope that NFF, Coach Eric, the Super Eagles themselves should be more patriotic. Like I said, the female footballers, they are suffering the same thing you guys are suffering. But they have decided within themselves that we are going to give this. When they were going to the just concluded WAFCON, they said we need a title 10. They went there and they got a title 10. They've dominated Africa for 10 consecutive times. They went there and they said we need it, and they got it. This is what we want you guys, the Super Eagles, to do. Decide within yourself. Yes, we are being owed bonuses and allowances. We are not being treated right, but we want to do this for our fans. Because, guys, we deserve this goodness from you guys. We've supported you all through. We hype you. We are your hype men and women. We hype you all always. We want to tell the whole world about our players. So you owe us this victory. Owe us a trophy. Please. While we are blaming the NFF and blaming every other person, you guys should tell yourselves the truth. Yesterday's game was so disastrous. And every blame goes to you guys. Before NFF, before the coach. You guys can say we want to do this. We all saw the last World Cup. The Argentine team said we want to do this for Lionel Messi. We want to do this for the king. I could remember Di Maria. All his interview, everything is we want to do this for Messi. So you guys can pick one person out of your, pick one person out in the team and say, we want to do this for you. Or rather, even if you don't want to do it for yourself, we want to do this for the fans because we deserve this. Okay, we deserve this. So going into the AFCON, I really hope that everything would work well. I really hope that NFF should, do what they're supposed to do. Coach Eric should do what he's supposed to do. And most importantly, the players should do what they're supposed to do. Because AFCON is in a few weeks. We are all crying for the whole roasting that our Ghanaian brothers and sisters are giving us. But do you guys know what? The main roasting will come. It is coming. And it will come if we don't fail to win the AFCON. Thank you so much, guys. And I hope you listen to this. I hope you watch this very well without your emotions. And then drop your comments and tell me what you think about everything we've discussed so far. Until next time. Bye.